Evidently, the title of this conference refers to the renewed political interest in trade policy in the context of the raging public debate on the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, TTIP, and to a lesser extent other such new generation free trade agreements. At the heart of the discussion on the lack of transparency and democratic accountability of the negotiations, however, lies some more fundamental issues which still to some extent have not fully entered into the public awareness. In particular, trade policy today is not confined to the rather technical issues of reducing tariffs or quotas, but its scope has substantially broadened. As Joseph Stiglitz recently remarked, the term free trade agreement is misleading, since these agreements are essentially about regulation.
The ISDS, or now renamed, but the investor rights which are built into the system that allow investors to sue governments could quickly lead to reductions in standards. The economic models showing the benefits of TTIP are based entirely on assuming that changes in non-tariff barriers, mostly meaning regulations, will be lowered. So the modelers who project gains have projected it by lowering standards.
So capital is increasingly concentrated in the world that we live in oligopolistic and monopolistic corporations. They're the primary beneficiaries of the new trade agreements, and they're part of a neoliberal shift whereby previously state-owned or public enterprises are rapidly privatized amidst a more general process of the commodification of social life, our public goods, our knowledge forms, our educational systems, our systems of healthcare, and our public services. New trade and investment agreements, which will be the object of detailed investigation in this conference, tend to lock in this destructive logic by embedding them in constitutional law. These agreements become constitutional law for their signatories. And this is partly what I mean by the concept of new constitutionalism.
That was an extremely interesting and also important conference, as we had scholars from all over the world giving us interesting insights in international trade politics, in regulation, and how we can assure regulation. It was quite interesting to see that economists are also modeling now from an alternative point of view the effects of trade agreements, and actually come to different results on what is being claimed from the normal modeling models, that all this is going to increase gross national product, etc., etc. I'm taking home also quite a bit of hope that the movement that is against TTIP and that is actually for a more just and fair international trade system may prevail in the long run.